Welcome to game number 2 on Frost. If you haven't got your bets in by now, I'm sorry guys, the betting is officially closed at this point. HuK Vs SSanaEE. The series will play out. We'll see who can end up advancing forward. Again, everyone's playing a little bit blind today. Nobody quite knows whether we're at the quarterfinals or not because the brackets have been down. But the admin, big shout out to Eddie, who's been diligently working with everybody individually to make sure everyone has their games, has their matches, and is en route to continue in the tournament. So big props to him. Now, spawning here in the top left though, down one game at the moment. We'll see if he can bring it back on Frost. This is going to be the Yellow Zerg player, SSanaEE.
And in the top right, the red Protoss from Team Evil Geniuses once again. It is none other than HuK.
Really like the way HuK played that game. A lot of this came down to, it wasn't even the Colossus or the overwhelming army at the end, but it was those two Zealots running away that first impressed me. Seeing that control out of him, microing like a monster, and he never let up for the entire game. So really, really impressed and very excited to see how he handles here on Frost. It would be very upsetting for me if he lost to some sort of crazy all-in, but I would like to see game number 3, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Get the maximum games that we can, juice every little bit out of these guys. Because they're both very good players, and of course, we all like good games here on BaseTradeTV. So yeah, let's shoot for the third game. Make the betting interesting. Yeah, a little bit more tense.
It's that awesome dynamic we get on BaseTradeTV now that we got some partoofs to gamble with. Again, that's our in-game or our in-channel currency, guys. But yeah, sorry, just got that PM here, so I'm gonna tab up for a moment real quick. If I miss any action, I apologize. But thank you to Handy's Quacks Roll 2, sub to the channel, but also the guy who donated. So really cool of you, dude. You are now upgraded to gold status. Woo!
Yeah, so one thing that we will mention just once again is that there is a $50 voucher for the top placing Australian player in this, which is pretty cool. Comes from Headspace, which is a National Youth Mental Health Foundation in Australia. They do lots of great work. So if you actually head over to the thread about the Masters Cup on Team Liquid or on SC2C, and you like their cause, you can actually donate to them, which would be really, really cool, and we appreciate muchly if you do actually do that.
Yeah, Headspace is the little logo up here on the top right, by the way, guys, for those who are questioning like what we're talking about. Apparently I was supposed to have an outer game one, but I was never given one, so my apologies to them. We're going to talk about you guys to make up for it. I hope you can accept our verbal apology and our verbal advertising in recompense. But coming across the map with a couple links is SSanaEE, and HuK, again, kind of, I don't know, doesn't really open with Forge, Expand, doesn't have cannons down. He's probably, I would imagine, going to delay his Mothership Core again, so this Zealot's going to have to work hard to deal with these Lings.
Yeah, once again, popping in here before there's anything out, and it's going to be frustrating. The probes, they're going to get to work. Where's that micro? Yeah, not lost anything just yet. The Zealot pops out, and those Lings will have to hightail it out of there. Do not want to get taken out. Maybe this time he'll be lucky enough to actually keep these Lings out the front here so he can spot anything that's coming out of HuK's base, because last time HuK was really diligent about getting rid of those, and of course SSanaEE didn't really get confirmation of that 4-gate until it was on his front doorstep.
My question is more, will SSanaEE kill a probe this time? I do want to remind everybody, HuK didn't lose a single probe in game number 1, and that is such a rare occurrence, because normally, bare minimum, the probe that comes out of the base to throw pylons down for proxies and warp-ins, that thing's usually the first to go.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll see how he goes this time around. Ling's already on the towers, but the Mothership Core is coming out to deal with that. And in fact, a few more Lings heading around just to have a look for any proxy pylons, any sneaky shenanigans coming out from HuK. So really nice game from SSanaEE. I think that's one thing that's already hit me about his play, even though this is kind of the first time I've really paid attention to one of his games and casting it. He doesn't like being caught out by things that much as obvious. He's very good at scouting the corners of his base and then looking for all the proxy pylon locations that he would probably expect from a Protoss player like HuK.
Well, SSanaEE going to take a little bit of pepper here on the hatchery. No Queen actually on the way just yet, so he's got to transfer this over, but HuK's changed his tech path up this game. I didn't talk about it until just now, but as Stargate completes again, it's kind of one of those situations where an Oracle's not bad for an opener in this scenario because he's not going for double Stargates, but I prefer Phoenixes 9 times out of 10. I think with decent control, and HuK has displayed, he certainly has that. I think Phoenixes would be a little bit better for him, but initially opening with an Oracle's not bad. It provides a lot of scouting information. The threat of damage is always nice, but as long as he doesn't overinvest in it, I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we'll see what he manages to get done, if anything. Considering that there hasn't really been a scout from SSanaEE just yet, it's a hard spot to scout, even if you did have Overlords a little bit more close by for that position. Yeah, you might get actually caught unawares. He's got nothing in the mineral lines. And the Mothership Core's already a bit of a distraction, actually.
I like what SSanaEE's doing with these links, by the way, because he knows he can't do a lot. He's just scouting like a menace. So, confirms there's no proxy pylons hit on the map, which, you know, usually hides some sort of tech. But more importantly than that, kills the queen.
Bam.
Drones are forced to evacuate. A spore crawler on the way, but honestly, you could probably kill that.
Yeah. Mothership Core doing some work. Oracle continuing to chase down some drones, doing great damage already, and SSanaEE is kind of scrambling to get these spore crawlers up, going, oh, there's nothing I can actually do about this. I just kind of have to wait and keep losing mining time while this builds. 8 workers killed already. Very nice.
Plus that queen, let's not forget. That's a whole inject missing.
Queen too, yep.
Oh, I want to give a big shout out to Jigglypuff, of course, our newest sub to the channel, but also getting in on the first blood action. You're doing it right, my friend. But anyways, on top of the scouting too, Frost is one of the rare maps where sort of ninja bases tend to happen. This and Ultrazeum are like the rare times when you'll see someone actually go for a ninja base. Not that HuK is known for doing that, but yeah, again, the Zerglings just scouting provide confirmation that he doesn't have to worry about something silly like that.
Yeah, okay, well, this third base coming up is pretty well defended already with the cannon, so even if SSanaEE does actually scout that, in fact, has he seen it with the Overlord near there? No, he hasn't. He just needs to poke it in just slightly, and he'll see that that third base is there, and he might want to try and do something about it. Then again, he might not. He's going for the infestation pit, so perhaps we'll see those swarm hosts once again, unless he just wants to go really fast up to Hive with Roach Hydra.
We'll see what ends up happening. The tech path, again, it's... I don't know, the infestation pit's a little curious, because if he goes for the swarm host earlier, the nice thing is this time HuK doesn't already have Colossus to counter them, and you can start applying a little bit pressure bit by bit, but realistically too, force fields, a lot of people forget this, but force fields are great ways to zone out Locusts. Locusts don't have much range on them. They got a lot of damage, they're incredibly volatile, but they don't have much range.
Yeah. Not really, and he can, I mean, because the Colossi are going to be out soon, he can buy enough time with that for sure. Maybe he wants to go for another ground attack on that third like he did in the last game. I think it's a little easier to attack in on this one, even though it's still a choke. But at least the SimCity isn't such a factor as it was in the last time that got him absolutely slaughtered.
So, every time I see Frost, the Swarm Host, PvZ, I do get a little bit worried. Not because of the Swarm Host prolonging the game, but Snoot actually plays a very interesting style of Swarm Host where he plays really slow, really methodic. I'll talk about that more in a second, actually, because I wanted to relate what SSanaEE was doing, but I like this roach run by here. Positions on the top of the cliff, Scumbag Cliff, we all know it as, and gets a couple of kills. But anyways, the strength of this map, it's not really, you don't play this to Swarm Host. There's a lot of avenues to get around the Swarm Host, like we see up here to the north, through the middle, through the second middle. You can get past Swarm Host pretty easily if you want to run past them. That kind of makes them a little bit weaker in that regard. But that being said, if you're going to play this out like, say, Snoot would, and you put down a ton of static defense, whether it's Spine Crawlers, Spore Crawlers, or both, all over the map, then your opponent suddenly can't go around your Swarm Host, and they become a lot more effective. There's actually a WCS qualifier match. Zombie Grub and I Cat was mostly Zombie Grub because I got DC'd from the game, but I think Snoot had upwards of like 130 Spore Crawlers and like 50 plus spines. It was pretty ridiculous, and it was on Frost as well. And because of that one game, I've always been like, okay, Zerg, what are you gonna do?
Fair enough. Well, that actually supply blocks him. Never messed up there. He's got 3 more overloads on the way. Going to be supply blocked for a little while here. By the looks of it, it does have that 4th base up and running. Getting that good economy, and gonna have 10 swarm hosts out soon. You can start putting on a bit of pressure. I like these roaches on the high ground, but HuK's on the ball is gonna find those very quickly and get them. You
know what those roaches did? So I was just waiting for a break to put this in, but he did kill probes this time.
Yeah, he did.
But we do have some links that managed to run to the main. I didn't even catch that. Slips right past the cannon, gets on top of the probes. He's gonna kill, well, it goes from 3 to 10 workers killed, but now the Zealots should be able to clean this up. Nice little run by the SSanaEE. However, HuK is also going for his own run-by, so to speak, but this one's more of a drive-by. He's got a lot of stalkers here. Locusts are going to come forward, but I do want to remind everybody, some good force fields and some backing away really shuts Locusts down.
Yeah, HuK again, only sticking with the 1 Colossus for the moment, but yes, he's making a Warp Prism. This is another thing that I really like about HuK's play. He is so good with Warp Prisms. Yep. We only really saw it towards the end of last game when it was kind of already over. It was kind of like salt in the wounds, but
13 Zealots, no big deal. Just warping casually.
Yeah, you know, just casually being warped in, but That's the sort of thing that makes him such a scary player because he has the multitasking to pull it off.
Well, Warp Prisms, a lot of people see Colossus as the answer to Swarmhost as well, but it's not really. It's more like the response, whereas the answer is sending the Warp Prism across the map. If he drops 4 sentries in the main and infinitely force fields off this ramp, he can warp in Zealots and kill the Hive, well, the lair in this case, the spawning pool, all the critical tech that's normally hidden up here. And I think that's what he's looking to do. Some Blink Stalkers will assist this too. That, of course, rally micro. See Stalkers blink up 2 at a time.
Force field on the ramp.
Even the Roach is burrowing underneath this. A cool move, but not going to be enough here out of Sane. And the Locust and the Swarmhost have no way to get involved with this fight. 4 plus, well, actually, he's got so much here that he can recall out too. He can force field this off indefinitely. He has to keep this Mothership Core alive, though. If he loses this, he loses all the sentries. You can blink the Stalkers out of here, but... Oh, why is he pushing him with his other force? I don't like this at all. Gotta back away from this. Force field's coming down to keep the Locust back. Get some Queen kills, actually. Looking a lot better in that regard. But the main's pretty much forfeit. He's cleaning this up.
With those extra units, they do get picked off a little bit there as they retreat. The Locust really quick on the creep, but this main is forfeit to HuK at the moment. There's just not really anything he can do. Even with the Burrowed Roaches, they're kind of getting taken out as they come in. But there's so many units in here anyway.
He's going to move the Mothership Core. It might get sniped here. If it gets sniped, it's just the sentries that die, guys. Don't worry. The Stalkers can blink out of this. It's not that big of a deal. But go for the Warp Prism instead. He blinks back to respond. Mothership Core can recall still. I think he's going to do it. Yeah, there we go. Punch it up.
Yeah.
Nice hit and run there out of HuK. But Sane did take a fourth while this was going on. So while he loses his main, it was only a lair. It wasn't going on towards Hive. He's already got a lair made to replace it. Like, he was thinking ahead. So while that looked really strong, really good out of HuK, Sane wasn't exactly caught off guard by it, per se. He lost, and it was an unfortunate loss, but still, he's able to recover.
It could have been worse, but, you know, he's still stuck on 3 base against another 3 base Protoss. Having to invest into that lair once again is very annoying, and HuK, everything is still just going his way this game. He's once again dictating the flow of it. Did lose his Warp Prism. I hope he'll remake another one of those. It would have been cool even if he pulled that Warp Prism out of there and went to another base while he was doing that.
It's already coming back up. You can rest.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Rest safe. But the Locusts in the middle of the map, actually, they need to reposition the Swarmhost. The problem with Locusts like this, when you've got such low amounts, and I say that hesitantly, the idea is to get the Locusts out and unburrow and retreat right away. Does this a little bit late, so it's a little bit scary. Could have lost a couple there.
He actually doesn't have any buffer for this army. This could be really good for HuK. He could actually kill so much here. The Corrupt is going to do a lot of damage towards the Colossi.
He needs to take out the Colossus.
The still getting taken out.
The Corruptors are high enough number, but the problem is he's got so much useless supply in the air. Like, he's not going to be making these Broodlords anytime soon. If half of these were Hydralisks, Roaches, Zerglings, the Stalkers would not have blinked forward, but he takes out all the Swarmhosts. And what does he have left but Corruptors? Like, what do you spew corruption, I guess?
And he's still making them. I'm so confused. Why? There was 17 out with 3 more on the way, and now he's just losing them. They're just kind of like,
this is every Zerg's life. You see Colossus and you make way too many Corruptors.
Yeah,
it happens every single time.
It's so brutal. So I can't really blame him, but it kind of sucks to see him in that position where if he had some buffer for that army, that would have been a really good army, but unfortunately Swarmhost Corruptor isn't good enough. This is just going to die, and the Blink Stalker's in the main here once again. This hatchery can't be mined from. It's probably going to die, actually.
Yeah, well, you know what? He took a base way down to the south, too, to replace this. So, again, Sunny is not out of this game by any means, guys. He's just got a lot of useless supply for the time being.
No, he's struggling at the moment. And HuK did lose a fair bit of his army there. He's got back up to 3 Colossi, though. He's got a couple of Voiders in the mix. So, basically, all he needs is some buffer for his own army, and he can go again. And, next push, I'm not sure SSanaEE is going to have a composition that can deal with it. When you've got Roach Ling out on the map at this point in the game, that's a bit worrying.
Roach is going to snipe off maybe a Stalker nose. HuK does blink back. It's kind of unfortunate for SSanaEE because the critical thing about this isn't so much about what he's losing right now, but more to the fact that he hasn't been able to provide any counterattacks. He's tried going with Burrowed Roaches a couple times. He's had these Locusts in the middle of the map, but he's never really been able to touch HuK outside of those, initial 3 probe kills? Or, well, the looking around by 2, I guess, was kind of cool, but honestly, I kind of hesitate wondering what he could do at this point, because until he maxes out, he can't really do much, and he's got to play defensively until then.
Yeah, I like to be setting the Locusts around all different paths to try and see what he can find.
Corruptor's got to go kill the Warp Prism.
Done, but oh man, look at this army. That's so scary. We got the Warp Prism going again. He's gonna find it though. Nice pick up from SSanaEE. Paying good attention to that minimap.
Air weapons out too for the Void Ray is going to make them even more effective. But this is a little bit better control out of Sane. Unfortunately,
no.
he's yeah, he kind of like messes up around the Lucas.
Brutal.
Kills a lot of Stalkers, give him that much, but he doesn't have any ground force. The Stalkers, there's no roach buffer for this.
Another base is going to fall here. The Krebs is going to come in, I guess, and try and snipe off some Colossi. That'll be really nice if we can get it done. One going to fall. No. Does have to back out of there to the power of those Void Rays.
Blinks forward aggressively, nothing again to buffer for them. If he takes out the Colossus, then the Locusts become a little more effective. It's not going to be easy to deal with all these others. Still 5, and he's already killed like 3. HuK just has too much to deal with, bottom line.
Too much stuff. Yeah, absolutely. He's going to get some Colossi out of this, which is really nice, but the Swarmers are still taking a lot of fire. Aggressive blink forward, and the rest of the Swarmers are going to fall. It looks like HuK is going to be taking the 2-0. GG.
GG. That was Sunny to the losers bracket, but again, do want to stress there is a losers bracket, so those are going to be best of ones down there. We do wish him a lot of luck, but HuK, congratulations, well advanced here in the winners bracket. And sadly, I have no idea if this is semifinals or quarterfinals.
Yeah, the bracket's back up now, but it's going to take Eddie a little bit to put all the results back in.
Oh, that's awesome.
So hopefully that'll be back in action shortly.
And Eddie did respond to me during that game. That was a round of 8 match. That was the quarterfinals.
Yes.
HuK will be moving on to the semifinals, guys.